Welcome everybody. Root Chakra Month. So who is here for the first time? Anybody brand new? Where we got all right, good, solid. Hey, Miss Susie, you know what? Let's move you to the front row. Can we scoot you over a little bit? If we just pull you over a smidge, she can go right there. And then if everybody wants to space out a little bit more, but it feels like got enough room to be around you, that's perfect. Okay. So, contemplating Root Chakra Month and what we can do. The physical body needing to be tended to is a primary concern for this month because it is your home base. This is something that we want to really attend to the needs of the body and really connecting to the body, making it safe for you to actually fully be in. Something that came across why asana is so popular in the West. Why, as a yoga philosophy, when you look at, if you know anything about the larger context of yoga practice, that asana practice is actually like one part of an 8-part system. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali give us Ashtanga Yoga, and that Ashtanga Yoga is these 8 limbs, and it starts with the yama and the niyama, which are really the disciplines and internal observances. They're like the 10 commandments of yoga, and they're supposed to come before asana. Asana is the 3rd limb. But in the West, people were so disconnected from their bodies, and we've been so kind of like removed from what this actually is, an embodiment of spirit, that this is what it's supposed to be, that this is like this safe container for our spirit to dwell in. And that's why the yama and the niyama are supposed to come first. Because without it, if you don't have the principles of nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, wise usage and conservation of your sexual energy, you're not going to have a really good time connecting to your body. And that's really, if you're not rooted in those things. And then we're given the spiritual acceptance of pain without causing any more, contentment, deep surrender, self-study. If you're not rooted in those things and you come to practice, good luck. Because you're going to be either thrown for a loop or just not really understand. Or you're just going to approach it from the physical place. And it's not that you can't just approach this practice from the physical, because the physical container is very strong. It will make you very healthy. It will wring out your organs. It will help you become stronger in your immune system. It will give you a better ability to be to get through scar tissue and chronic injuries or other conditions. It can really help with all of those physical things. But if we're not working in conjunction of really setting the intention to make your body a safe and hospitable place for your spirit to come really back into, then you're missing a huge piece of the energetic puzzle. So we really wanted to get grounded in that discipline this month of recognizing that it's not just the physical and that your spiritual needs need to be attended to. So what does that mean? We have all kinds of backgrounds, philosophies or religious practices or atheists. I've got plenty of people here who, I believe in science. Great. Science is a wonderful thing, and to say, there's not, you can actually believe in God and science simultaneously. It's like there's actually, and really that's where the yogis come in, because the technology that we were given gives us kind of this blueprint of the universal consciousness of understanding what the energy of this place is. You don't have to call it a specific thing. You can just say it's, source, it's intelligence, it's the unified field. Physics is really proving so much of what yogic theory is. So, we'll just get on the science train, not a problem. We are all just particles vibrating, and nothing can be created or destroyed. So how our energy interacts with each other and ourselves, that's a part of this, understanding too. So from that place, now when we come down into the major concerns of the root chakra, the biggest, I think, I forget where I read it, but it's like in something in psychology, the principles of these pillars of the biggest triggers for stress and breakdown and anxiety and acute depression in someone's life, they're all root chakra issues. It's really very fascinating when you look at it. Starting a new job or leaving a job, like whether you get fired or you're making that transition, it's like it brings up this, I don't feel grounded. Maybe I'm a little unstable. I'm not really sure what's happening. It's like beginning and endings, whether it's intentional or not, for how you make money, how you support yourself and what you're doing. That's a primary thing. So you see people go into tailspins. They're totally fine. They're living a comfortable life. Everything's okay. And, that job that they've had for 35 years that they thought was totally secure. Oh, look, they get fired a year before their retirement and they lose their pension. And then they go, who am I? I don't feel safe. What's happened to me? I have no idea what's happened. It's like you've attached to this primary source of thinking that that your job is who you are. And in this culture, a lot of us really connect to who you are as a person and your viability as a successful human being as how much money you have. And what's your house look like and what are your cars? It's like materialism. So in the root chakra, material concerns of survival and safety are a thing. That's something that we have to really connect to and we want to have some safety. But when you look at if you just make your life about physical security and physical safety, something's going to happen at some point that's going to remove that rug from underneath you, and then you're going to feel really lost. So that's just one aspect, starting a job or losing a job. Having a baby, making any big transitions, it's like root chakra is reproduction. So this is our connection to our reproductive cycle, our instincts, and our urges. And it's different from the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is very close to it. The sexual energy that really moves with sacral chakra is more about pleasure than it is about procreation. Root chakra is very much about you reproducing. And even if you don't reproduce, it's then your relationship to being a child within your family of origin or other children that you have some kind of an impact on. So when you see that having a baby or losing a baby, it's like here's, miscarriages or, unfortunately sometimes it's when they are small. Grief of any kind of somebody that you love is a root chakra disturbance, but particularly powerful is losing a child. So that can really throw you, your whole sense of safety and security in the world can really be rocked when you have something like that. And just having a baby, and if everything goes well and you have a baby, good luck restructuring your life. It's like everything that you have thought that you were going to be, what you think it's going to be, what your projections are, that, this is what motherhood is, this is what parenting is. Get ready, because you really have absolutely no idea, and it's a great exercise in releasing control. Sometimes we can't control what happens, and you think that we can keep them safe and protect them. Some parents really go into a space after they have children that they were fine, they were a little more carefree or relaxed, and then as soon as they become parents, they become paranoid, hypervigilant, worried about everything. Where's their child? They don't want other people to drive their kid in a car because, I don't know if they drive safe. What happens if they get into an accident? All of a sudden they turn into this paranoia and fear. So there's a lot of trust issues that will appear in root chakra. If you do not trust the safety of your physical self or of the people you love, that's a root chakra concern. So then we move into, the grief, because what happens, then what happens if something happens to somebody that we love? Grief of any kind, that magnitude of losing somebody that you love, is a destabilizing root chakra issue. We are taught that, the thing that we seek is till death do us part. Your favorite person in the world, your best friend. Everybody know Louis C.K. as a comedian? I'm sure you know this bit then about how he says, yeah, great. What's the best case scenario of marriage? Because he kind of got up and said, yeah, so I'm divorced. And you hear people go, oh. And he goes, no, not oh. Yay! Happy marriages don't end. That happy marriages don't end. So if there's a divorce, if you have endured that, join the club. Yay! I'm released. It's like the freedom that I got to experience after being, divorced after 20 years of being with somebody who didn't really see me. That was a good thing. They said, but on the other side of that, so divorces are root chakra disturbances, but so is getting married. I mean, really, it's like any time when you're bringing two people together and you think you're going to cohabitate and you're going to change this environment, you're going to stir up some root chakra stuff. But Louis C.K.'s, other aspect of, what's the best case scenario? He says the worst case scenario is that you hurt each other's feelings. You wind up becoming disappointed. At some point your expectations aren't met. You spend painful years trying to cohabitate and raising children together, and then you realize, we've changed, we're different, this isn't working, and we should just kind of move on from this. He goes, the best case scenario is you meet your soulmate. You're in love for many, many years, and then your best friend is going to die. He goes, best case scenario, your best friend dies, and then your heart is so broken that you probably die soon because, he goes, you see it happen, like, the 50 plus year, very happy, loving, supportive relationship, and then one of them dies and the other person is left because maybe they didn't take the time to connect to their own energy and they were so wrapped up in the partnership and their happiness from this external source of needing this other person to make them feel okay and safe in the world that when they're gone, then they become untethered and unmoored, and you can't, find meaning or purpose anymore. So this is something that major grief can blast a hole and can make you feel really ungrounded. And that isn't just about a partnership. I mean, my mom, for those of you who do know, and I'm sure you've heard it, you're going to hear it plenty, it's part of my work now, is to, talk about the sudden shock of losing my mom at 66 years old. She just dropped. I mean, it was like, one day she was here and we were having, lunch, 2 weeks before Christmas, and then she's gone. Poof. So the destabilizing effect of losing somebody that's really close to you, and what happens with that is it's fascinating. Death is an incredible teacher. I wouldn't now, understanding that grief processing is some of the most profound work that we can do. Don't run away from it. Learn how to do it. And you practice by invoking it. Meditate on it. It seems like a morbid exercise, but that's what yogis do. So we're kind of masochists in the sense that when you see, okay, here's all the ways that I could be hurt in my life. Let me contemplate each single process. If you're like a worst case scenario person, right? Like my anxiety brain would always process worst case scenarios. So why not do it in a constructive way where you can actually invite this awareness that, yeah, we're all going to die. Yes. We are all going to age. Yes. None of us can stop being separated from each other. None of us can stop, how much we're going to grieve when somebody that we love dies. We can't protect each other forever. We can't hold on forever. It's just not the nature of this place. So when you invoke that, what you shift into is a space of gratitude. It's like, oh, every day is actually precious. Wow. I can be like radically present and feel this bursting love for my children and for the people in my life that I love. And at the same time, recognize that at some time they will be taken from me, and it's going to be painful, but I can survive that. So when I sit with these waves of grief, it's really fascinating to see how other people react to my grief. So then it's very apparent that everybody needs training in how to handle people who are in grief, because you have two camps. The people who either want to like fuse to you and be there like 24/7 and want to like rub your head and like bring you chicken soup and like rub your feet and like be there with you all the time, which is not always what you want. Sometimes you just want to be left alone and cry, and that's okay too. But then there's the people who literally will not even acknowledge your grief, like it just didn't even happen. People that I've known for years, that I was friends with, like thought beyond acquaintanceship. My mother died, and it was like, just not a phone call, not a text, didn't come to the services, just waited months. And then just, hey, how's it going? How you feeling? Happy spring. And I'm like, where are you coming from now? Why exactly are you reaching out to me at this moment? Like, and that with no acknowledgement, just like, oh, a couple of months have passed. She's probably not so raw anymore and won't need to talk about it. So now it's okay to like reach out again. Nope, I see it, and that's okay. I don't need that quality of energy in my life. And I honestly understand now that everybody has limitations with it. People make it very personal. It's the same reason why certain people can't be present in hospitals or around people who have cancer, or somebody who's had a miscarriage, or somebody who has undergone some kind of traumatic experience. Post-September 11th, we saw a lot of that. And it was like people become really isolated when the thing that's happened to them makes everybody else so afraid, because they personally then, I can't even imagine what it's like to be you, so I'm just not going to talk to you. And they just completely remove themselves because it really triggers them. And learning how to be present with people's discomfort and being supportive is a path of the yogi. We are here to be of service. So deal with your own energy and deal with your own fear and deal with your own discomfort around what other people's things are so that you can actually be of service when the time comes. I am the first person on the front lines of everything. I have supported many people through grief, and I will continue to do so. I go to many hospitals and cancer, bedsides, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about dying. Let's talk about what's happening. Are you afraid? Like, what are your thoughts on that? The worst thing that you could do with people who are going through situations like that is just pretend like nothing's happening, because then that makes them feel even more estranged and lost and isolated. And, ask genuinely. It's like, and is there something that I can do for you? Do you want space or do you want me to be here for you? It's a really great way to connect to the energy this month. So, all of these big things, if you've got, the transition in work, the transition with kids, having children or losing them, starting a new job or losing it, moving into cohabitation or starting a relationship or ending one, all of these are transition times for root chakra to kind of go Wah! And how do we stay grounded? Routine. It's very much to keep a root chakra happy and content and grounded is to give yourself a pattern of a routine. It's like wake up at the same time every day. Have practices that are really nurturing and nourishing. How you feed yourself. This is the food body. We really do want to take care of what we put in it. And how you connect to nature this month. The root chakra element is the earth. So if you're feeling lost, ungrounded, unsure, fearful, distrustful of situations, or not really sure, not being able to make clear decisions. I just don't know. And it's like, and if you're letting your brain kind of cycle off into the worst case scenarios without actually parsing the best case scenarios, then that's another thing. We have to be able to trust that in this moment, I have these fears. Let's look at them. And then say, okay, well, I can't really do anything about these, and most of these will most likely not come to pass, because has anybody else's brain actually been right when you've parsed all your worst case scenarios? Nobody, right? Has it ever happened? I mean, I don't think any worst case scenario that I have ever imagined actually came to pass. And the best case scenario, at the same time, there's pure fantasy, and then there's pure evil. Life kind of gives you the middle way. So when you see that it's not all garbage and it's not all roses, then we find our way to kind of navigate in it. So getting grounded in the okayness. I can handle this. I can go through this. I'm going to get stronger. This is just a time of transition. Give yourself those patterns. Give yourself some discipline. Give yourself some time to attend. The physical yoga practice is an amazing place to get connected to your body in this moment and just be in this little bubble. All of us get to be here together. We're all working on something internally. We don't have to talk about our problems. We can just kind of be in the energy of the refuge. This is like a little refuge for you to get grounded and clear out and get strong and to understand this too shall pass. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, it's going to change. It will shift. And if you give yourself some positive things to focus on during this time, like getting stronger, getting grounded, feeling safe in the body. Something that's really nice to repeat this month is, I'm safe. I'm here. I'm strong. I can handle this. That's a wonderful affirmation. It's a good thing it's safe to be in this body. I love you. Thank you. It's like, okay, I'm here. Affirmations to go with it this month. Body self-consciousness, body trips, sometimes, especially the body shaming. Women in our culture in particular have really warped perceptions of what their bodies actually are. It's really a huge problem, teenage girls and all of these images. And we're really taught from a very early age that how you look is the most important thing about you, and that's how you're going to be noticed and revered. You're either a smart girl or a pretty girl. Sometimes you can be both, and then if you are, well, that's like the golden chalice, and that's really the people who can be loved the most is when you're smart and pretty, And, oh, but, then, eyes up here, it's like, and then the Me Too movement comes around, and it's like, I understand the backlash because we've been subjected to so much for so long. But now it's like if somebody compliments how you look, it's like, don't talk to me about how I look, I'm a woman, and I have thoughts and, feelings, and it's not just about how I look. It's like, receive a compliment, ladies. Like, really, we should all just be, like, nicer to each other in certain ways. It's like, wow, you look really nice today. Thank you very much. So do you. That's how that can go. It's like, and if a man is actually like, being respectful about how they reproach you this month, or like, you can respectfully receive compliments from strangers. That's actually kind of nice. Like there was one time I was in Montauk for Montauk Music Festival, and I thought, yeah, Montauk Music Festival. It's like a rock star thing. Let's get all dressed up. I don't get dressed up very frequently, so when I do, I kind of do it. And I'm in this like short dress and these big heels and like makeup, and I was like, yeah, back to the 20s when I was like, I used to go out like that, and I realized very quickly, oh wait, this brings a certain level of attention and energy that I actually don't like. So then it became deflecting drunk morons. Like, it was like, oh, no, oh, do you think because I have a short skirt on it's an invitation to touch me? I didn't say that you could touch me. You can look, but, like, come on. You don't have any right to, like, just reach out your hand. But there was one guy who just did this thing. I was waiting for a drink, and I was standing there, and he had 2 drinks, and he turned around, and he saw me, and he went, and he looked me from head to toe, and he went, you look really beautiful tonight. And I was like, thank you very much. And he was like, have a nice night. And he walked off with his 2 drinks to whoever he was going to. And it was like, thank you. That's the way to give a compliment to a stranger in public, not to like leer and, come over and be like, hey, it's like, wow, that's not, you do not have permission to touch me. I don't know what you're thinking, So there's definitely an awareness of like getting connected to yourself, to feeling that confidence in your body and to showing it. It's like, I felt good, I looked good, I wanted to carry myself, I love dancing, I love listening to music, I love being alive and embodied. But if you have to start like toning it down because you're afraid of what that energy is going to attract, well, then you have to start to contemplate. Yeah, now when I go out, it's that skirt will never be making an appearance again, except in private. It's like there are certain things. It's like, okay, well, I can wear that in my house. I just don't want to like attract a certain quality of energy when there's alcohol around. That's really the trick to that one. And then just acknowledging, like, you can actually be embodied and radiate confidence without attracting a low level of energy. There's like this beautiful thing about being attractive and magnetic, and it can be safe. And we're coming back. There's this like teetering balance that happens when, things were out of balance. They are going to swing in the opposite direction before they come back to stasis. And really then the stasis of root chakra is that you're embodied, you're grounded, you're connected, you love this vessel, and it's a temporary phenomena. We are going to age, we are going to change, we are going to die. And really, it's all okay. And all of us are in the same exact boat. None of us is immune to that. So in that connection to knowing those vital truths, we can practice with a total abandon in terms of competition or judgment. Nobody is looking at you in competition here. If anything, somebody might witness your practice if you have years where you've carried yourself and you carry yourself with a grace and a strength. That's what they see. They're not looking at your physical body saying, oh, I wish I had a practice that looked like that. They're looking at you and they're reacting to, I want to carry myself like that. And that's what the gift of root chakra can be, is this rooted trust and confidence in the ability of your body to give you a lot. And it's exactly how it looks today, exactly how you can feel today, is exactly where you're supposed to be. There's no one way to love your body. Just get really grounded and connected to the skin that you're in. So from that space, let's close our eyes and come inside. And just acknowledge and notice at first if you're feeling churned up. What do we have going on in this body today? If there's any chronic pain or condition, can we connect and just witness it without judgment? If there's a particular part of your body that you're having a little trouble loving in the moment, take your hands to it. Yourself feel that connection. And with our eyes closed, nobody can see you, so it's okay. There's no shame. So we really connect to this vessel, the beautiful skin that you're in. We start to connect to your deep, slow breath. As you inhale, really flood all the way to the pelvic floor. Exhale and let it go. A few more times just like that. If you want to sound or sigh, honor it. Let go of your weak. One more time. And start to connect deep, slow breath, this time with the mouth closed. Your Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi is a great way to stay focused and present in what your body is feeling. You are not alone. We will continue to churn up and burn through. As long as you can breathe, you're doing just fine. We set our collective intentions to bear witness to our body's needs and to really connect with gratitude to the sacred vessel. Get stronger so that you can move forward, navigate those big root chakra issues that come up. We're all in this together. We open the practice by chanting Om 3 times together. Inhale deeply for Om.